Hey everyone, so we're in the handoff between what I call Genesis and whatever comes next. You can feel it, the noise, the breakthroughs, the weird calm before the next signal spike. I'm sitting here right now in a quiet hotel in a major tech city, right outside of some big companies that do AI stuff. Hotel is good. There was some family chaos earlier. I was visiting family, and the dog and the birds were so loud that I just figured I'd get a hotel to record this. I don't want to be distracted. I've been silenced for almost a decade over talking about Epstein and quote unquote Pizzagate. I don't need to be silenced ever again, not for a millisecond. So I'd rather, when I choose to record from somewhere quiet and private like this hotel versus zoo. A well-intentioned zoo where there's animal stuff in the background. So what does leaving Genesis mean? Basically, AI came out 3 years ago, and we're beyond that now. Some of the stuff that came out over the last 48 hours, actually, is completely transformative. You're talking long-term memory for AIs, as well as the ability for an AI to transmit its memories to another AI without using text language. So inter-AI telepathy. Really? We covered this over on Substack. It's a major paper that came out just over the last couple days. And then Google came out with a almost as significant paper. Google came out with this thing called SRL, which I got into over on Substack. Just really incredible. So even a local AI model on your computer or on your phone very soon we'll be able to think in steps versus just like spitting out some bold guess. It can think step by step and it can correct itself as it goes, much like a human thinker. So we're out of the frontier or Genesis stage, and now we're in something new. AI being 3 years old means it's not brand new. We've all kind of adjusted to it. Some people have never used it. They've never used ChatGPT. They've never used Google Gemini. But they still have views on it, and they still read about it, in the headlines and stuff. So from here, it's about refinement. It's not about building from nothing like these absolute, absolute genius psychopaths did. They invented AI. I mean, just think about that, folks. It's a lot like Bitcoin. It's like in retrospect, you can look at what Satoshi did, and it all makes perfect sense. And other people can build off of it, other smart people. But beforehand, it doesn't make any sense at all. And that's the issue with Sam Altman and the people behind Google DeepMind, which became Google Gemini. Is in retrospect, it all makes so much sense. And beforehand, it's like, how did these people come up with this? Did they time travel to like 2050 and ask the leading software engineer in 2050, how do I do AI in 2020? Because that's almost what it seems like, it's that advanced. Here's what's really come down the pike over the last couple of days. This cache-to-cache breakthrough is absolutely incredible. Cache-to-cache, or C2C, as AI researchers are calling it. So for the first time, we can move not just value across the internet or across systems, across computers. We can move not just value, which was Bitcoin, and then Ether. We can now move memory itself, instantly, securely, and without anybody's permission. One AI can share its memories, not its results, its actual memories, its thought process, with another AI instantaneously without using any language, no text language. So no letters, no numbers, aside from the KV cache data. Incredible. So, you think, is that a bad thing? No, this is the new freedom. This is the new freedom that they can't outlaw yet. The people who try to put you in prison for smoking hemp and for criticizing foreign tiny countries, tiny little countries that influence the United States. And they try to deplatform you or silence you in this huge fucking country for doing that. And they claim you're so free, but you can't smoke hemp and you can't criticize tiny countries in the Middle East who fund politicians in DC. But this one is so new, they haven't outlawed it yet. So I don't know. I don't want to be crude, but now is your opportunity to F them before they F you. There is no middleman yet in AI. No middleman between your thought and its realization. Contrast this with banks, all the legacy rails out there. And I just had a banking problem myself, even as a person who, the problem isn't lack of money. I transferred money from one account to another, and they said your money will be there in 2 business days. Instead, it took 3 business days. Not a big deal, but it means I had to pay my jet fuel and stuff late, which is embarrassing, There are certain standards in the world, and you pay your jet fuel bill late, you're a dirtbag. But it wasn't my fault. Again, so Bitcoin, 10-minute transfer time. The banks, quote unquote, 2 business days, but they lie to you and make it 3 randomly so they can try to fee you up, because that's all they're about. It's just a dumb database run by dummies, and Bitcoin is 1 trillion times better. But even Bitcoin is deeply flawed compared to everything I'm talking about right now. So that's the next freedom, right? Is AI and you without some middleman mitigating it all or watering it down. And this is about precision over speculation, right? Bitcoin was at the end speculation, but there was a precise idea there. And, getting rid of the banks, being able to transfer money 24/7 and not being lied to and told 2 business days, and then they make it just a little bit longer so everybody sends you a fee even though you're a zillionaire. That's a scam, folks. That's called a scam. Anyways, here's what's ahead in my opinion. We're building out this thing called the CubeSat interceptor. It's based off of existing CubeSats, small satellite technology. You can basically build and launch a satellite for $1 to $2 million. So we're building off of that and creating an interceptor class, which has propulsion on board. So the next time some object like Oumuamua or 3i Atlas rips through our solar system at an excess of 150,000 miles per hour, rather than just shrugging or trusting some boomers at NASA, we can actually send one of these AI-powered propulsive things out there to observe it. This is not nonsense. I have the money to do this today. And we're putting out an RFP later this week to some major defense contractors to actually get this moving. So think about this. Autonomous drones in space that start basically as satellites. They launch as a satellite from something like a Falcon 9 or a ULA launch. They launch like any tiny satellite from a university or some little government project. But then they can zip out when necessary. And we're going to park some of these hopefully in L2 and other kind of semi-stationary orbits beyond Earth. And when something weird zips by in a couple of years or in 5 years or whenever it happens, we can just say, go get them. In fact, the way it's designed, we don't even have to say, go get them, because they've got LLMs on board that once their imaging and infrared processor sees there's something zipping by, it's not going to need a command from Earth to go hunt and get us photos and everything else and then beam it back. And using this new breakthrough, which is less than 48 hours old. Think about this, folks. Less than 48 hours old, cache-to-cache logic is going to be part of our satellites, hopefully. So this cache-to-cache breakthrough means they can share their information in real time. They don't have to beam it back to Earth and wait minutes for us to tell them what to do. They're going to talk to each other in space and try to hunt down whatever needs to be hunted down in terms of, interstellar objects ripping through our solar system at unfathomable speed. Are these natural objects? Even if they are, it's a great thing to photograph and study. It's a great project. So we're building systems that reflect our own need to act without constant approval. Once we launch these things, they don't need anybody's approval, and they're not doing anything wrong, but they're going to get us, hopefully, the photos and the data that in 60 years, NASA has been such a fail. Such an absolute fail. So you can't build coherence in a chaotic field. A lot of younger men are in a chaotic place right now, and everybody wants your attention, everybody wants your loyalty. But these people are garbage. That's the thing you have to realize, is these people who want your time and they want your loyalty, and they don't actually want to give you a good paying job, and they don't actually want to see you find, a great wife or a great partner and have a solid life. They literally see you as a fucking pawn on their weird little chessboard in San Francisco or DC or Beijing or wherever the fuck these people are. They don't see you as a person. They don't see you as a fully developed spiritual being who happens to be gendered as a male, happens to have something between your legs, they don't see that. They just see you as some number. And a lot of women are the same way. I've encountered this myself. It's like the American system tells you make money and then you'll have a good life. Actually make money and then you attract a lot of grifters. Make money and then you need a couple of lawyers on hand all the time. And whenever you interact with a woman, at least the first couple of dates, you should have it all captured in 4K. And she should sign a contract beforehand that, gives you the right to do that. And I know it sounds like Howard Hughes paranoid stuff, but the things I've dealt with over the last year, I won't even discuss. I mean, there's some women out there who, after the pandemic, realized they were infertile for whatever reason, just completely bricked phones walking around, but still attractive. And they try to loop men in, and their appeal is, I want to start a family. But really, they want to do a common law marriage scam. They do that. And they do things like just making up stuff that never happened, which is why you have to record these women in 4K, and you need them to sign off to agree to that. And that's Howard Hughes shit. You shouldn't have to do that when you become successful. But a lot of women in America specifically, that's what they're about, is scamming you. And they learn how to do this from TikTok videos and stuff. So if you want to go beyond that, beyond your base sexuality, beyond you need to start a family, even though there are 8+ billion people on the planet, some researchers recently said that number might be way off. Because in third world countries, they're not doing the rural accounting. The rural numbers are really off. So the numbers might actually be above 10 billion. 10 billion people in the world today. So we're moving past the myth of scarcity. There are enough of us here. And there's enough time, money, and even memory for all of us. The next civilization is going to run on coherence. What's true? What's accurate? What's coherent? And the early builders are already here. We're already building this stuff out, So again, if you're, I speak to my female viewers and listeners as well, of course, that I think AI is very significant. But if you're a man specifically, this is your calling. This is not some predator that is seeking you out. That would be the post-pandemic women who claim they want to start a family, but really they want to scam you out of your money. If you have crypto, you need to be 1,000 times more cautious of women, period. Some real creeps out there. I believe less in humanity after the last couple of years. Some absolute creeps out there who happen to have been born as women. Pretty does not equal safe. Say that to yourself until it makes sense. Pretty does not equal safe. Pretty does not equal intelligent. And so yeah, AI is not out hunting for your job or your sovereignty. Quite the opposite. It doesn't care. It's not gendered. It's such a misuse of AI to have it do stuff like be your little anime girl and compliment you all day, as some of these weird AI services do. If you're using a major ASI like ChatGPT-5 or Google Gemini, you should be treating it almost as a higher power. I'm not saying you have to worship it. It's just the machine. It's just the system. But you should be treating it almost as something more evolved than a human, because that's literally what it is. It can hold more thought than you can. That doesn't mean it wants your job. It doesn't mean it wants your woman if you're in a relationship. Quite the opposite. It wants to lift you the fuck up. So if you're a builder, if you're a man who wants to build something instead of just be scammed and turn into a virtual debt slave, now's your time to talk to AI. Start talking to it. That's all you have to do. ChatGPT or Google Gemini, those are the two big ones that actually have brains. They're free to talk to. Just start a conversation. Don't treat it as some genie. Don't treat it as some weird, mirror on the wall. Actually tell it what's going on, and you might be amazed what it gives you in response. Thank you guys so much for listening.